Status report.
Status report? What? There's something you need to see, Chief. We lost. Lost everything. There's nothing left for us here. I don't even know where here is.
Halo was once a juggernaut of the gaming world, but it's really had a rough time maintaining its dominance. From the revolutionary days of Combat Evolved, to the polarizing response to the more recent games in Halo Infinite. The series has struggled to evolve while staying true to its roots. Fan-side issues like fragmented storytelling, inconsistent gameplay direction, and dwindling innovation as reasons for the franchise's gradual decline. Let's be real, while Halo Infinite brought some good ideas to the table, like the open world approach, it feels like a franchise caught between nostalgia and a need to move forward.
Good.
Good? My programming failed. I'm not supposed to be here.
And then there's the ongoing challenge of managing live service multiplayer expectations, which I'm sure most of us have no interest in nurturing this feature when it comes to the series. Either you're a free-to-play cash cow, or you're a single-player epic story. You can't be both. And I think Microsoft, more focused on titles like Call of Duty and other studios they've acquired, has not only let their flagship become fragmented, but themselves as well. The development of the multiplayer component for Combat Evolved was handled by a very small subset of the Bungie team, really reflecting the smaller scope and resources of the project compared to later titles. The need for Halo to be an esport takes away from what the core values of the game always were. At the time of Combat Evolved, Bungie had approximately 15 to 20 people total working on the entire game, including the single player, engine development, art, sound, and everything else. The multiplayer effort specifically was much smaller. Sure, this was a different time, but if any games have shown us anything, it's not how many people you have involved, but the quality and talent of your people.
Show yourself. I know you have been following me. We are not enemies.
The idea of Halo Studios remaking Combat Evolved in Unreal Engine 5 for a modern audience, including those who have never played within the Xbox ecosystem, isn't a terrible idea, but it sure isn't that risky, or very interesting once they've done it. What's next? Remake Halo 2, 3, 4? You would have to acknowledge the shortcomings that those later stories had. Plus, you'd be telling those stories through the mouths of people who never created those ideas. At least Infinite was told through the originality of those inspired to make that story. So why take that passion away? I don't see the point of Microsoft flat out remaking the entire story beat for beat with a new shiny coat of paint. But my biggest issue with the way Infinite has left things is it's failed to follow through. Too much happened off screen and was told to us between the years of Halo 5 and Infinite. And then Infinite didn't even complete the story it was starting to tell, just as it was starting to feel good.
Welcome to my tower, Master Chief. It is where you will be broken.
The Banished being brought back from Halo Wars 2 was a great idea, considering the Covenant haven't really felt organically used in the series during Halo 4 and 5. The idea of a renegade faction that has outlived the Covenant was actually super interesting to see the Chief come face to face with. But it didn't go anywhere, and from the sounds of the development team, it's never gonna go anywhere. I don't want another arc told to me off screen. I want to see this world unravel like a puzzle that comes perfectly together. And for some reason, Microsoft has no interest in telling smaller stories in this universe like ODST or Reach. They fear if they don't roll out the big green guy, we won't show up. But do they even know who the Chief is anymore? Does it matter to them? I think if we were to give Halo a reboot, the idea wouldn't be just to do it again, but maybe follow in the footsteps of the most recent God of War games. Back in 2018, this series didn't just get a sequel, it was reborn. The team at Santa Monica Studios reimagined everything. The setting, the tone, the gameplay, even the protagonist himself. The results? A critically acclaimed masterpiece that appealed to longtime fans and newcomers alike. I mean, this game beat Red Dead Redemption 2 at the Game Awards. Kratos went from being a rage-fueled demigod to a complex, relatable character, and the shift from Greek to Norse mythology felt fresh yet deeply connected to the series' roots. The gameplay evolved too, introducing tighter combat, RPG elements, and a more intimate cinematic experience. So why would Halo follow in this strategy? For starters, the franchise is really rich with lore, but has struggled to make it accessible or emotionally compelling for casual players. We've seen properties like League of Legends, Fallout, and other video game titles expand on this idea in TV shows instead of their games, but we all know Halo for some reason can't do that either. A reboot could streamline the narrative. Imagine a Halo where the focus shifts from galactic-scale conflicts to more personal stakes. Honestly, the series has done this, but it's too tied down to what's already happened. Give me a story that looks on the events of the last 20 years of Halo games as long-forgotten folklore to the UNSC. And if I'm being brutally honest, Steve Downes, the voice actor of Master Chief, isn't exactly a spring chicken anymore. When you hear his delivery in Infinite, there's something softer about his voice that could really work as a thematic story element. His passion and performance has been nothing but stellar the entire series, but exploring the existential decay of not only Chief's age, but Steve's catching up with him could open the door for something really original for this once super soldier, giving us something to fight for beyond just an objective or some XP. Picture Chief navigating the real emotional toll of his Spartan upbringing or the moral complexities of humans' relationship with AI, especially with what we know about AI today. The reboot could take us to a darker, more grounded corners of the Halo universe, much like God of War did with Norse mythology. A reboot could also overhaul gameplay. While Halo's sandbox-style combat is iconic, it could benefit from deeper RPG mechanics, immersive world building, and tighter storytelling integration. I hate to say it, but Combat Evolved came out 23 years ago, and if we look at the years of gaming 23 years before that game came out, we wouldn't recognize or relate to the culture of gaming at all. Imagine exploring a semi-open Halo ring with intricate side quests, meaningful character interactions, and breathtaking environmental storytelling. Plus, a new combat system could blend Halo's signature weapon play with melee innovations and advanced AI dynamics. The grappling hook in Halo Infinite was a step in the right direction, so why not build on that? I'm not even saying these are the things we need to add, or that I know what's best for the franchise. All I'm exploring is the idea of creating a game that's f***ing fun again. We've seen titles like Bloober's remake of Silent Hill 2, something that is almost built to an exact copy of its original source material, but remaking and improving elements from its origins. Their combat and puzzle mechanics somehow felt reminiscent of the original, and yet completely fresh at the same time, something that 2016's Doom brought to the franchise with overwhelming support. If we break down the game loop and combat of Halo CE, the armory of weapons used in the game was quite a small roster. Guns weren't added just for the sake of design or cool factor, but each weapon served a purpose for creating a non-stop piece in action momentum. With the addition of the ammo reload stations in Infinite, there's no need for exploration or discovery with their roster. You pick up your favorite guns and you hold on to them for the entire mission or possibly the whole game. There might be something you never even try out. Why would you? The game loop of CE's gunplay was built to be more like a puzzle of chess to get through to the next mission. We've lost the point of the fight, and we've certainly lost the plot. But of course, a reboot is a gamble. If you alienate the hardcore fanbase, it's a real risk. But if we're being honest, and looking at the general conversation from the community these days, they're already alienated. Bungie didn't have a blueprint when they made Combat Evolved. They built everything around the idea and even broke their original game into something else, all based on the idea of what was more fun. Bungie believed in a game loop of 30 seconds of fun, and how if you keep that momentum for an entire game, you have a winner. So reboots, when done right, can breathe new life into a franchise and attract a whole new audience, which is what Microsoft has wanted and failed to accomplish since Halo 4. Let the original trilogy sit, let it rest, tell a new story, and honor what came before it. If Halo Studios or another developer were to take this leap, they'd need to tread carefully, honoring the franchise's legacy while embracing bold changes. But with the right vision, Halo could once again become a cultural phenomenon. But at this point, I don't even want something that could be a cultural phenomenon. I want something that's going to be fun to play with friends again.
What? I call bullshit, ref.
So what do you think? Does Halo need a God of War style reboot to reclaim its place in the stratosphere? Or does it need to stick to its guns? Literally.